Hotep, Black Power, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors, as always, giving honor to my sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my father, my in-laws, and everyone who is in the ancestral realm. We ask you to continue to not give up on us and continue to stand behind us and guide us to liberation and salvation within our black nation. Today I want to discuss something disturbing within the black community. On so-called Christmas Day, a man murders and shoots his wife and his own two children. And I'm going to let you see the footage, some of the footage of that, and then we're going to get back and we're going to discuss that some more. So just hold tight.
Mylan Ross would often use the couple's children to get attention from his ex, and that the emotional torture got worse days before police say Mylan took their lives.
What kind of person would put a gun to those beautiful babies? I can't even comprehend it.
Lashanya Echeverria says Mylan Ross often used 10-month-old Honora and 11-year-old Nigel as pawns to scare and harass Iris.
If he couldn't get a hold of her, then he would start programming numbers to show up on her caller ID that were alarming, such as the Phoenix Police Department.
A week before Christmas, Lashanya says Mylan did just that.
And then she saw a text from Mylan that said, "There's been an accident."
But there was no accident. Then Lashanya says Mylan started carrying a gun.
When she asked him about it, his response was that he was a public figure and did not have a security guard, and he needed to protect himself.
On Christmas Day, Lashanya says Iris left to pick up the kids at Mylan's apartment.
And it was at 2:50 that we received the text from him saying that he had shot and killed Iris and the kids.
You better watch out.
You better not cry. A post appearing on Mylan's Facebook page hours before the shooting shows father and son singing.
I threw up all day long. What do you think about that video?
Months before the death of his family.
Team 12's Bianca Bono is live in our alert center with the backstory of this now suspected killer. Bianca?
Well, guys, our 12 News crew sitting down with Anthony Mylan Ross in early November to talk about his weight loss journey. Our photographer who did that interview telling me he now feels sick to his stomach.
Life is looking good for Mylan Ross these days.
It's hard to believe that this man, who sat down with 12 News a couple months ago to talk about his apparent healthy lifestyle, is the same man who police say is responsible for the heinous triple murder on Highland Avenue. Mylan Ross seemed to have completely transformed his life for the better. 3.5 years ago, he weighed more than 500 pounds. He claims he decided to make a change for his son, Nigel.
He started crying. In that moment, I learned that the decisions I was making didn't just affect me.
Ross losing more than half his body weight. 3 months ago, posting this video to social media of him and his son celebrating his weight loss at a theme park.
How was that?
That was amazing.
I used to have to sit in a chair in the middle of our yard. Sorry. To play catch with my son.
But the 11-year-old boy Ross is seen getting emotional over in our interview with him, now dead. Police say Ross shot and killed Nigel on Christmas, along with his other child, 10-month-old Honora, and his estranged wife, Iris. The man who presented himself as a model citizen to 12 News, now charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder.
Now I'm going to show y'all a video that this nigga took 90 minutes before he murdered those children and his wife.
And I'm hanging out with Nigel on Christmas Eve. And about to embarrass ourselves. We're gonna sing. You ready?
Yeah.
Me. Okay, sorry. You better watch out.
You better not cry.
You better not pout.
I'm telling you why.
Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake.
Yeah, so that was the video that happened 90 minutes before he took the lives of that boy. And you know, that's some sad shit, man. That's some very sad shit, you know. And did you notice how the little boy was looking at him with so much reverence? He revered his father so much, and he loved his father so much, and he was so proud of his father, you know, to sing, you know, a Christmas carol with his father. You know, this was 90 minutes before he shot that boy dead, and he shot that 10-month-old baby dead. You know, and see, this is this shit, you know, and then he had a shootout with police. Now, this is one time, you know, situations like that, that's when, you know, I don't mind the police killing a nigga in situations like that. You know, but they don't kill a motherfucker like that. But they'll kill an innocent black man. But they you know, motherfuckers like that get passes and all these psychological exams, and then the FBI, you know, they want to profile a motherfucker, you know, instead of just killing his goddamn ass. You know, he took the lives of them babies based on the fact that he didn't like the conditions of his separation or divorce from that white woman. You know, and I have, you know, anytime it involves children, I don't care who it is, what nationality or whatever, when children are brutally murdered for nothing, or when they're brutally murdered, period, you know, I have no understanding. You know, I believe that your ass should, you know, when it's done deliberately, you know, your ass need to go in. You really need the death penalty. You know, because suicide, you know, that's an easy way out. You know, either the death penalty or have somebody else shoot you. Have someone else murder you. And not by a gun, because that's too easy. You know, have 3 motherfuckers with machetes just whack your motherfucking ass to pieces. Cause that shit was horrible, man. You know, to do children like that because you can't have your way. You know, and that all boils down to some of you pussy ass niggas when it comes to these women, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, if a woman doesn't want to be bothered with you or your time is up, you all have, you know, you all have done what you needed to do, and it's time to move on. Move the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Move on. You know, because I know for myself personally, whether it hurts or not, I'm moving the fuck on. You know, because I don't have time. Why would you want to be in the presence in someone's company that they don't really want you around them? You know, and you know, it just makes the situation more miserable and horrible. you know, you need to move on. You know, and that comes from a lot of these brothers raised by women, raised by their mothers, and they've always when they're hurt, they run home and get a therapeutic titty from their mother. You know, because a lot of times these mothers, you know, when you sit up here and fuck around and fuck up, and then the sister rolls out and she's ready to say fuck it, she's sick of you. You run to your mother, get the therapeutic titty, and then she'll co-sign the bullshit to make it seem like that the woman was wrong and that you're always right, that you don't do anything wrong, that you're innocent and committed and all this. But in reality, you're nothing but a motherfucking dog, man. You know, a selfish motherfucking weak titty sucking punk. You know, and I'm telling you all this. If you're in a situation or a relationship that's not working, and you know it's not going to work, somebody doesn't want to be bothered with you, move the fuck on, man. It's always somebody else out here, man, that will, you know, if you're doing right and you're walking in your greatness, you know, regardless of your economic status, regardless of your social status or whatever, you know, it's always someone that will be willing to have an emotional, you know, and mental and spiritual investment in you. But you have to be walking, you have to be on an incline in terms of your growth and development. You know. But that's uncalled for. You know, my heart goes out to them babies. You know, they didn't ask for that. You know, and he was a coward. I hope that they put him in general population, Gen Pop for short. And I hope they tear his ass up. You know, I hope they tear his motherfucking ass up. You know, and it's really just that simple. You know, because we get, you know, some things that take place in the black community, you know, a lot of us, you know, are fed up with some of you motherfuckers, you know, and you need to be dealt with, you know. So, I think this is the second or third day of Kwanzaa, and I explained to you all, the reason why I don't engage in that Kwanzaa. You know, number one is because it's an alternative to Christmas, because it ends up having the same thing as Christmas. And then, you know, number two is 7 principles, 7 days. So what about the other days of the year besides those 7? And that's, you know, and that's the phony part of this shit. Everybody hitting drums and all this shit, you know, for 7 days, you know, singing the Kwanzaa song, you know, and after the 7 days, the same thing as Christmas. You know, you acting, you know, you back on Negro status. You know, you back, you know, fucking people over. You know, you're back having, you know, these attitudes and all this, just like when these people, you know, holler this Jesus shit all day long. You know, when shit's going good, it's Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. As soon as you encounter one minute situation, you know, Jesus' ass goes out the window. You know, he goes out the motherfucking window. You know, especially when it comes to economics and, you know, emotional trauma. You know, all that shit, you know, Muhammad, all them go out the motherfucking window. You know, but in the Kwanzaa piece, you know, after those 7 days, everybody's back on nigga status. And what people do, you know, a lot of people are really not conscious, because they'll ooze Christmas in the Kwanzaa. Because you getting the same gifts on the day that you give out gifts. I think that's Imani or, yeah, where you give out the gifts, New Year's Eve. You know, but you're really just filtering the gifts from Christmas, and because you're getting the same thing that you would get from Christmas on the last day of Kwanzaa. So that's why I say it's just a, you know, it's just a backdoor Christmas. It's just Christmas through the back door. You know, because those 7 principles are not even practiced after those 7 days. Same thing with Christmas. You know, on the 26th, everybody's, you know, you fix all this food and everybody's invited, everybody's hugging. You have this big prayer and blessing, you know, and then the next motherfucking day, you know, you hear, you know, cursing and, you know, everybody's back, you know, chasing a dollar and, you know, arguing and going through shit, you know, instead of allowing yourself to stand firmly entrenched in what you know, not what you believe in. Believe is, you know, believing is mean, you know, it's probably not true, but I'm just gonna go along with it in hopes that maybe I can benefit from it somehow. Even though the 3 middle words and believe is lie. You know, so but when you know, when you know what you know. You stand firmly entrenched. You know, and because the creator is you. You are the creator. You know, you were created by a greater force. You know, because the sun is the premier element of the universe. It gives light and life to everything. And anything that can't get along with the sun has no business in existence. And the only thing I can come up with that can't get along with the sun is this motherfucking ice ape, this caveman, this walking germ, this European, this fucking Roman, this savage, this raw meat eater, this blood drinker, this animal fucker, this pedophile. That's the only thing that I can come up with that I see on the planet that can't get along with the sun. You know, and you know, what we need to, you know, come to grips with is that after 400 plus years of being whipped, oppressed, being in physical motherfucking bondage, being raped, tortured, fucked over, being in motherfucking chattel slavery like a fucking animal for 400 plus years, we act like we come out forgiving this motherfucker, you know, and then at the end of all of this, all the lies and tricks with religion, because that's where religion come from. It was forced on us, you know, as a way to keep us under control and keep us in fear, you know, along with the gun and the whip and the Bible. Those are tools that will enslave any motherfucking human being. You know, and we still trust this motherfucker. And we're supposed to move on when we're dealing with the after effects, the post-traumatic trauma from our ancestors through slavery that has been passed down in our DNA. You know, but you know, a lot of you niggas will, you know, you'll say, let's move on from there. You know, it's only one race, the human race. We all get along. But when it comes to 9/11 or this fucking petty ass Holocaust with these goddamn so-called imposter Jews, because they're not the real motherfucking Jews. We are. You know, you take your hat off, you bow down to them on Yom Kippur, you know, and Rosh Hashanah and all this motherfucking shit and Hanukkah. You know, in 9/11, the World Trade Center and the Oklahoma City bombings. You know, but what about the crack epidemic that killed 100 times more people than the motherfucking World Trade Center in the black community? You know, that was diabolically, that was part of a genocidal tactic to eradicate and exterminate the black community. But we don't look at that. We don't look at that. But we have, because we dealing with so much self-hatred. The same way with Umar Johnson. People are glad that he's fallen. You know, and that just shows the mentality of the black community. And some of you motherfuckers, you know, some of you rats and snitches and provocateurs that be on YouTube celebrating the demise, the educational demise and the revolutionary extermination of a brother. You know, and you're supposed to be a scholar. You're supposed to have a certain amount of common sense. But yet, you hate yourself so much. You're jealous of somebody that's dealing with self-love. So you glory in the downfall of somebody that looks like you. But none of you motherfuckers have ever checked the credentials of any motherfucking cracker. But you run and tell the slave master to check your brother's credentials. And why? Why? Has he done anything to you personally? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. You just envy his intellect, because he's the first brother that has come to the black community with the divine education when it comes to children, when it comes to education within our school system, when it comes to the poison and the extermination through medicine and ADHD of our children. You know, I heard one little mulatto woman say, she called herself China. She's a mulatto, half-white bitch. And she said that she would not give her child to Umar Johnson, her son. But you'd rather give him to the cracker, let the cracker dope him up and turn him into a crackhead by the time he's 25, than to allow Umar Johnson to do some sessions with him so he can develop a love for himself, so he can develop black power within himself and stand upright and take his lips off his mother's titty on a therapeutic level. You know, and that's because some of you adults, you are children. You act just like children. You know, you jump up and down, you have tantrums. You know, you want what you want when you want it. You know, just like some of you pussy niggas. You know, you envy and you fear brothers that's been incarcerated, that have turned their lives around and has become scholars and warriors. You know, you have something to say about them. You knock them. So if you knock them, you might as well knock Malcolm. You might as well, you saying the same thing about Malcolm, Martin, Huey, Garvey, and the like. Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammad, all of them went through prison. So what's the difference? That's just something, that's just a tool that you are trying to use to discredit a brother, to make his input and his research and his work not worth or on the same level as yours, because you may not have been or went through prison. You know, you may have found some other ways. But I found out most of you guys that haven't went, a lot of y'all have other issues. You've been molested as children. You know, you're weak. You're mama's boys. You know, you've always hid behind a woman. You know, that's because the way you act towards real men. When you're in the presence of a real man, you act like a woman. You cross your arms and you gossip about a real man. So, I could go, you know, like I said, I could go on and on. And like I had explained to you all, I don't do videos every day because there's not a whole lot to talk about. You know, and I'm not going to talk about the same thing over and over. You know, study the videos that are already there and make an analysis from there, because I try to provide some information. You know, of course I use profanity and whatnot, you know, and at times it's unnecessary. I realize that, you know, and I'm working on improving that, you know, but at the same time, you know, who determines which words are good and which words are bad? You know, once again, that's following the white man. That's following the European. You know, who determines that? So, in closing, I just want to let you all know that, you know, for those who are down, hold your head. Hold your head. Keep on striving. Keep putting in work. It may seem like no progress is being made, but progress is always being made if you're working in the right direction. Just keep, you know, walking your own greatness. Stand all the way up. Stand straight up. And be a warrior. Hotel Black Power.